Welcome to Gaming News, your roundup of everything that you need to know that's happened this week in the gaming world. This week we start off with EA and its upcoming shooter, Star Wars Battlefront. In a recent earnings call, the Chief Operation Officer, Peter Moore, explained that Star Wars Battlefront is coming on extremely well at the moment and it will be shown off at E3 this year. If you cast your minds back to 2013 E3 Expo, you'll remember that Star Wars Battlefront was actually shown there, but only in the form of a 30-second teaser trailer. It came to much applause and much hope that this game would be absolutely amazing, and this year we get to see 12 months on just how far they've got with the game. One thing Peter Moore didn't confirm is if this game is going to be playable at E3 or not. Now, it's probably going to be wishful thinking if we think we are going to get our hands on it. What we're probably going to see is some sort of showcase of the single player that they've been working on so far, and we'll get a really good presentation of just how good the Frostbite 3 engine looks for this Star Wars game. I highly doubt we're going to get to play this game at E3. Speaking of EA, there is another unannounced shooter that will be shown off at E3 as well. It's going to be running on Frostbite 3, and it's pretty much confirmed that it's going to be following on from Battlefield 4 to fill that gap in between each 2-year cycle that a Battlefield game comes out. So at the moment we could be looking at a successor to Battlefield 4. Really excited for that. The fact that it's built on Frostbite 3 and we've had all these problems with Battlefield 4 puts me on edge a little bit, but as we've seen yesterday from the CTE program that's been launched by DICE and EA, they are looking into improvements in the area of netcode there, so hope is on the horizon for that game. Moving on to Destiny and Activision, in a recent earnings call, just like EA, they announced that the Destiny beta is going to take place somewhere in July of this year. It had been rumoured up for a while that this was going to be the month that Activision chose to release the Destiny beta. We have to remember that this game has been delayed now for nearly 10 months. So it was supposed to be a release game for the next generation of consoles, but that never transpired. In the earnings call also, Activision briefly touched on the platforms that this game is going to be coming to. We already know which 4 they are, but the order is quite interesting. First of all, we're going to be seeing the PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 3 users get access to the beta, which will then be followed by the Xbox One and the Xbox 360. Now that's quite strange considering the creator, Bungie, has always been, well had been for the 10 years previously, a Microsoft studio. So it's really quite weird to see them releasing on the PlayStation console before the Microsoft console. That's really quite strange, but it's something a little bit fresh I think, because we see so many exclusives that somehow get 1 month's early access on the Xbox One and the Xbox 360, and the PlayStation 4 never really has that much going for it unless it is an internal Sony studio. So it's really nice to see a standalone developer now wanting to release on the PlayStation platform first. And just to add on to that, obviously the date is set for July, but there's no specific date stated so far. That will be announced by the developer Bungie at E3 at its conference in a few weeks' time. So we will have a confirmed date within the next 4 weeks to know exactly when this game is going to drop in beta form. Moving on to Pokemon, yay! Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire were announced just a few days ago by Nintendo as remakes of the original Pokemon 3 games that came out for the Game Boy Advance. These games will be released on Nintendo's current handheld console, the 3DS, and will be out worldwide sometime this November. With Nintendo's recent announcement that they made a loss of £135 million this year, it makes absolute sense for them to release a new set of Pokemon games. There's no easier way for Nintendo to make money back than to rebrand some older Pokemon games and bring them back. They did it with X and Y, which collectively so far on the 3DS has sold over 12 million copies between the two games, so that was a huge success for Nintendo. And of course there's a massive gap there at the moment where the Wii U just hasn't performed as well as they expected it to. I mean, for example, the most popular game that's currently sold on the Wii U console is New Super Mario Bros. U, and that's only had 4.1 million sales. In comparison, PlayStation 4, Sony's actual console, has already sold in excess of 5 million units, so you can see the disparity between the two companies there, and it's quite obvious Nintendo needed to make some money fast, so this was a brilliant decision for them. Moving back to Ruby and Sapphire though, apart from the fact that we know they're coming in November, that's about it. We don't really know anything more about the new games. We could probably assume that it's going to be very similar to the way X and Y worked with the updated graphics and the updated controller settings that were available in those games, but really that's about it. That's all we know about these games right now. And last but certainly by no means least this week, Techland, the developers of Dying Light, have delayed the game now until February 2015. I have a letter here that was given out openly by Techland to sort of explain why the game has actually been delayed. It says this: "When we started the development of Dying Light, we were committed to innovation. We wanted to give you a freedom of movement unprecedented in open world games. After many improvements and months of hard work, we have now come so close to realising our initial vision, we feel we cannot stop before it's ready. We believe the natural movement element of our game will change what you expect from the genre, and we don't want to sacrifice any of its potential by releasing too early. This quality-focused thinking underlines all of our development choices, and we hope you share our belief that the gameplay must always come first." Massive respect going out to Techland right now. It takes guts to admit that your game isn't ready yet, and that right there is a massive statement of that. That is now delaying the game for another 6 to 8 months, which is going to take a massive hit on any potential sales for the game. But the fact they've come out and said the reason they don't want to release it is because they don't feel the game is ready, that takes guts, and I really respect the developer for that. And that just about wraps up the video today, guys, so thank you very much for watching. If you did enjoy the video today, please do make sure you hit that like button and leave any of your comments down below about any of the articles that I've discussed today. But thank you very much for watching. But until next time, my name is Westy, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.